Well, my name is Ross Hochstrasser. My call sign is W1EKG.
Yeah.
I've been a ham radio operator since 2007. I've been playing with radio since I was 4 years old, and which was a long time ago. I joined the Whitman Amateur Radio Club in 2007 when I got my license, and we are a group of people who communicate with electronics, not cell phones and not internet, although some of our stuff does travel on the internet. We have antennas up in trees, we have antennas on towers, we have a wide, broad spectrum of frequencies that we can use. In order to operate a ham radio, you have to be licensed because we can use a lot of power. People might remember the CB radio days back in the 70s. CB radio puts out 5 watts of power. We can use 1,500 watts of power. That can be dangerous. So the reason that we are licensed is because we have such a broad spectrum of frequencies, we have to be careful with them, and we can use a lot of power, which we also have to be careful with. So I offer classes. We have a class starting September 2nd at the Whitman Police Station. We have the class Tuesday and Thursday nights from 7 to 9. It runs 4 weeks. At the end of the 4 weeks, there is an exam that you have to take. The exam costs $15. If you pass the exam, then you have to send $35 to the FCC because they've got to get their piece. The next license class following that's usually about 2 weeks later, and that's the next grade up, the general class license. And for people that stick with it and want to go all the way, can take the extra class in February. That usually runs about 8 weeks, and that gets you to the top level license for the FCC license. So we're here having an open house. This is our first attempt at it. We've made a lot of mistakes, but we will figure that all out and hopefully do this again next year. The next time we do this event will probably be either in the spring next year or the fall. We're not sure. We don't have a date yet.
Hi, my name is Bob Azenau from Holbrook. My call sign is Whiskey Alpha 1 Quebec, WA1Q. And I've been a member of the Whitman Club for about 20 years now. What we expect to see today from the radio club is hopefully to get some folks interested in becoming amateur radio operators, joining the hobby, learning more about it. Even some of the current amateurs don't utilize it to the full extent, so it's also a learning thing to try to teach people about what they can do with amateur radio. Also, how we can be a benefit to the community too, if there's any kind of a natural disaster or anything like that too. Well, one of the ways we can help in a natural disaster is if the cell service goes down and phone services go down, and as long as we have power, which most people have backup power supplies or batteries or generators, etc., solar, we can get messages out to folks around the country to say, pass the traffic. They call it actually traffic. Past traffic of how somebody's, like if their health is okay. Let's say there was like that poor event that happened sad event that happened in Texas. Well, if they have no communications down there, then we can get messages out letting people know if they're safe or not. Families are safe, that type of thing. I've been doing this since 1983. I was just a young child then.
How'd you get into this?
Actually, my neighbor. Two of my neighbors where I lived were hams. And actually on CB radio too, back in the old days with the Citizens Band radio. So you didn't need a license. But that got me interested in radio. And then when as I finally got my license in '83 and I got on the air, you meet a lot of people that way too. Similar interests. And it's not just men, guys. It's a lot of ladies that do it as well too. So it's a fun hobby.
Well, we have different members showing different ways to communicate in ham radio. This is the Whitman Amateur Radio Club, and my part in it today is to, in case any children come, that I can explain it to them in children terms about what is ham radio. And I made a coloring book for them to talk about some what is ham radio, or how do we get the sound to travel? Those kinds of things. So, and where can we do ham radio? And the answer is anywhere you can do ham radio. And the other question I pose to the kids is, who can do ham radio? And it's anybody. Anybody can do it. And where does it go? It goes throughout the whole world, and way up, you can talk to people at the space station. So ham radio is a pretty fun thing to do.
What is ham?
Well, ham radio is a hobby that allows you to talk on the different bands of radio. And you can talk, it's two-way, so you can listen and you can speak. But it's more than the internet. It's more than like the radio in your car. So you can talk on it, you can listen. It communicates by bouncing the sound waves off antennas. It goes up to the sky and through up past. And the people that know more about this can explain it better. But all of that bounces back down to earth, and then you can hear the sounds. So it's all about being able to regulate the sound waves. So anyways, for kids, they just need it in simpler terms, and that's what I'm here doing today. Well, it's so funny to ask that. My husband and I got into it about 4 years ago. We studied through the Whitman Club, and we were able to pass the test. And the reason I did is I'm an old nurse. This year I'm a nurse for almost 50 years. And I retired 5 years ago, and I said, I have to learn something new. And this was great to learn. Kept me, it's good to learn new things. So that's why I did it. And my husband did too.